Hey, it's a Yogi Momo. Today is all about inversions. And from the words of the great BKS Iyengar, yoga is transformative. It does not just change the way we see things, it transforms the person who sees. You want to feel transformation? Let's go upside down. It's going to be a great day. All right. Good morning, good morning. Today is an extra class this week. Lots of my sunrise people are here, and it's like you got to sleep an extra hour today. Because usually we're doing this at 5:45. So good morning. Hey, Mary. Oh, let's just start off on our mats. Just cross your legs. Find your version of Sukhasana, your cross-legged position. Place your hands on your knees. Let your shoulders just draw down from your ears and just breathe. Eyelids gently closed. We're going to settle in here for the first little bit and come to a place where we are not worried about whatever's going on outside of that room where you are, outside of your mat. Basically outside of you. You're not going to worry. So just breathe. When I decided to do this class this morning, I thought, you know what? I think we need a change of perspective, and that's what we're going to do this morning. So listen to these words as you sit there and just breathe. It says, we are no different in our deepest needs. We are all human. And yoga recognizes that the way our bodies and minds work really hasn't changed very much over the millennia. The way we function inside our skin is not susceptible to differ either in time or place to place. So no matter where you are this morning, we're all feeling it. In the functioning of our minds, in our way of relating to each other, there are inherent stresses, like geological fault lines, that if we leave them unaddressed, will always cause things to go wrong, either individually or collectively. But the whole thrust of the yogi lifestyle is to examine the nature of our being with a view to learn how to respond to the stress of life without all the tremors and all the troubles. And it says what yoga does is it does not just change the way we see things, it truly transforms the person who sees, and that's this morning's focus. We're going to keep the stress from causing so many tremors, and we're going to change the way that we see. So as you're seated there nice and tall, we're going to start to focus on how we're breathing. So if this is new for you, you just follow along. It will start to flow just right. So breathe in from the belly. Let it fill up with air like a balloon. Keep breathing in. Take in as much as you can until it fills your chest, and then open your mouth. Slowly release it. Just like the balloon that deflates. Breathe in again from the belly. Fill it up with air. Ribs expanding, chest filling. Exhale, release it out. 2 more like that from the belly. Let it expand. Exhale, release it out. 1 more from the belly. And release. Open up your eyes if they are closed. Bring your hands alongside you. As we inhale, we're going to take the arms up this time. Here we go. Breathe it in, arms lift. As you tip your head back, let your hands come together. Breathe out through your nose. Bring the hands down. Inhale, take them up. Head tips back, lips seal. Exhale through your nose. 2 more. Take it up. Big, big inhale. Exhale completely through your nose. Bring those hands down. 1 more. Take it up. And exhale, draw them down. All right. Good morning, Vanessa. Just saw you pop in. Hands come onto the knees. Let's sit nice and tall. Inhale, shoulders stay down. Lift your chin. Chest opens up. And then as you exhale, pull your elbows out. Bring your chin to your chest. Cat pose. Inhale, drop those shoulders. Look up. Exhale, flare the elbows out. Bring the chin to the chest. Let's do 3 more. Seated cow, look up. And cat, roll back. 2 more. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. Last one. Look up. And cat. And we're going to stay right here. So tuck the chin to the chest. Let the elbows kind of flare out. Feel that stretch across your shoulder blades. Down the back of your spine. Down your neck. A couple more breaths right here. Really sink into it. And then slowly drop those elbows, shoulders, and come up. All right, we're going to do a lot of the same warm-ups we do in sunrise because it's going to prepare our core for all these yummy inversions. So come on your backs. And when I say inversions, don't worry. A forward fold is an inversion. So you don't have to be in a headstand to be inverted. Don't worry. We're going to ease into it. So knees are up, feet are flat, hands are flat on the mat. I want you to lift your legs into the air. We're going to point and flex our toes a few times just to warm up. So point the toes toward your face and then point them toward the ceiling. So here we go. Flex, point, flex, point. Feel the shins, feel the calves. Couple more. All right, so toes are back in just their normal position. No tension in your feet. We're going to do leg lowers. So we typically do 10 leg lowers with both legs. If that's not something you're able to do, you do 5 on the right, 5 on the left, and I'll tell you when it's time to switch. So legs are up. I want you to breathe in deeply, hands press into the mat. And as you exhale, take the heels down, either one heel or both. Inhale, draw them up, and only go down as far as you can. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Remember, singles if you can't do them both. Exhale down. And lift. 7. Up. 6. Up. If you're doing single, switch. Now it's the left. Here we go. 5. And up. And 4. Lift. 3. Lift. Last 2. Core is warming up. Last 1. Hold those legs up. And then bend the knees, plant the feet. Take the feet a little more than hip width apart. We're going to work on some hip lifts here. So when you take your right foot, cross it on your left thigh. So the right ankle's touching the left thigh right above the knee. We're going to do hip lifts, and it only takes 1 foot. So you're pressing the left foot into the mat. Press your hands. Inhale, lift your hips. Keep looking straight up. Don't tuck your chin. Exhale, lower the hips down. Inhale, pull it up. Notice how that right knee falls open a bit. Exhale down. Now let's go for 5. Lift, lower. Lift for 4, and down. 3, lower. 2, down. You got 1 to go on this side. And lower. Uncross that right. Put that foot down. Now it's going to press down and give you that extra push. Let's put the left ankle on the thigh. Hands pressing into the mat. Here we go. Inhale, slowly lift. Exhale down. Take it up. And down. One hip might feel a little tighter than the other. That's fine. Here we go. 5. And lower. And 4. 3. 2. Last 1, lift. Lower, uncross the left. We're going to lift 1 more time, and we're going to press both feet into the mat. Here we go. Lift the hips. Take your hands underneath your bottom, and if you can, clasp them. If not, just leave them flat on the mat. When you clasp the hands, the shoulders are going to roll into that mat a little bit. Keep looking straight up. Don't tuck your chin. The chest is going to come close enough to it. Just stay right here, bridge pose. Oh, feel it in the core, feel it in the low back. I know the quads are feeling it. 2 more breaths right here. And 1. Lower the hips as the hands come out. Cross your ankles and then bring yourself up or roll over and come up, whatever you do. All right, we got a little bit of boat pose. So have a seat on the bony parts of your bottom. So kind of move the fleshy parts out of the way. Find the bones. Knees are up. I want you to wrap your arms around your shins, lift your toes, and hold here first. We start off an egg before we actually come into a full Navasana, a full boat. Just look straight ahead and hold. Feel how it is to have your thighs drawn to your chest. And then if you can, unwrap the arms, lift the shins. If this becomes too much, you put your hands behind your knees and you hold yourself up this way. Flaring the elbows out. Either way, hold and breathe. And if you can, start to look up slightly. So every difference I just told you, those are all your access points. You find where you are in boat right now. It's your version. 2 more breaths. And now cross your ankles, put your hands on your knees, and lift your chest into seated cow. Head tips back. Breathe. So the way we do it in the mornings is we engage and then we release. So you hang with it for just a bit, and then your body finds release. All right, head comes back down, round 2. Here we go, knees up. You can always start your boat from grabbing your shin, or you can skip that part, it's up to you. Shins are gonna be parallel on the mat. I want everybody's hands behind their knees this time. Flare the elbows out, draw the thighs toward the chest, and look up and hold. Really find yourself balancing in that little bony part right in the bottom. Breathe. See, in round 2, we want the chest and the thighs as close to one another as possible. Breathe. Hold. And cross the ankles. Let everything go. Hands on the knees. Head tips back, seated cow. And you're released. All right, round 3. Here's where you've really got options. Your first option is you stay in boat. You know all the versions. You pick yours. The other option is you do 10 canoes, or you do as many as you want. We're going to do 10. The way we do canoes, we extend back, and then we contract everything back in. You can do a few, try them. If not, you stay in boats. All right, here we go. Shins parallel. Hands are either behind the knees or hands are out. You decide. Hold your boat right here. And if you're coming with me, here we go. Extend and contract. And 9. And 8. 7. If you're in boat, just stay there. We're coming back. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Back in boat. We're all together. 3 last breaths. 2. 1. And cross those ankles, hands on your knees. Lift your head. Let it fall back and just breathe. And release. All right, the hardest part's always in the beginning because we have to wake the core up. So come to all fours. We do a little plank in the mornings, but when we start doing inversions, from down dog to forward fold to all those good things, you're going to want to have warmed your core up. So first you find tabletop. Before we come down, I want you to feel the length of your spine. So look at your hands. Spine is long. We're trying to keep it long. We don't want to hump our back. We don't want to sway our back. We want it long, just like this. So when you're ready, take your forearms down to the mat. Your hands can be out. You can make fists, or you can bring them together. Send one leg back. Send the other leg back. Once your knees come up, press your heels back. And if you're feeling like this is too much, you drop your knees. It's still going to be a plank, and you're still going to wake the core up. Either way, look at your hands. Breathe. Keep that gaze down. You don't want to compromise your neck. If you take the knees down, maybe you take them down, you pull them back up. Maybe you leave them down. You decide. Five more breaths. You're almost there. 3. 1. Now drop your knees if they're still up. Push your bottom back to your heels. So remember, we engage and then we release. Right here, child pose. Let it go. Forehead comes down toward the mat. Hands are strict, high above your head. Chest and belly melting toward the legs. Let everything go. As much as you engage the muscles in plank or boat or whatever we're doing, you give just as much effort to release the muscles right here in child's pose. 2 more breaths right here. All right, let's come back. Round 2 of plank. So rounds 2 and 3, we just do 3 of them. We add a little extra. You can choose to do the extra or not. You can choose to stay in plank with knees up, or you can choose to have them down. Or you can choose to stay in child's pose. It's your choice as well. All right, here we go. Forearms come down. Spine is long. Let's send the legs back. Now think about your hips. If your butt's sticking way up, try to bring it down a little more in line with your hips, in line with your shoulders. Breathe here. Stay in plank, knees up or down. If you want the extra, we're doing heel lifts. Right heel goes up 5 times. Here we go. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. And lift and lower. 2 more. And 1. Everybody's in plank. Look at your hands. 5 breaths. Three. 1. You did it. Knees down. Oh, let everything go. Child's pose. Breathe it out. The heart is starting to beat strong. But the beautiful thing about plank is there's a fire of concentration in your belly when you start to focus on plank. 20 plus muscles are engaged, which means you can't think about what you've been worried about. There's no room in your mind for worry when you're breathing through your plank. It's a really nice place to be. Keep releasing right here. Those geological fault lines of stress, that's what we're trying to get rid of. Make them a little softer. All right, let's come back. You got 1 to go. Then I promise you the toughest part is behind you. The core is woken up and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, forearms come down. Spine is long. Send your legs back. Keep your bottom in line with wherever your hips and your shoulders are. Stay here and breathe. Or if you want the extra, 5 on the left. Here we go. Lift and lower. And 4 and lower. 3, 2, 1. We're all back. This is it. 5 breaths and we are done. 3, 1. Lower the whole body this time. Stretch the arms high above your head, forehead on the mat. Come into crocodile pose. Let everything go. Tops of the feet resting, hands resting, belly melting in the mat. Now you settle the breath. It gets a little labored in plank, I know. Slow it down. Remember, you breathe from the belly, and then you breathe it out evenly. Two more breaths here in crocodile. Start to lift the head, bring the hands back in. Let's bring ourselves up. And if you've got yoga blocks, I want you to grab them. And if you're going to use hardback books, grab those as well. We're going to do a little bit with forward folds before we come in and try some sun salutations. So you've got some options. Your blocks are on different heights. If you're using a box or whatever you're using, you've got different heights of it. My suggestion is, let's put it on the tallest height. You may even find you want to stack. So if you're using books, you may need to kind of turn them and stack them whichever way. So I'm going to stack mine just like this, and then if I need to lower them, then I will. So put whatever you're using right in front of you. We're going for the crown of the head. That's the focus of this morning. This is where your peace center is, right here in the crown. And when we are stressed, all this peace gets blocked. So whatever you're going to use, just stack them nice and tall. And what we're going to do is we're shooting to get the crown of our head right there to wherever that prop is that you're using, okay? So take your feet about a little wider than whatever your blocks or your books are. So make your stance so your feet kind of go on the edges of it. Stand tall right here. And you may or may not use that prop. I just want you to have it there as your target for your head. All right, we're going to take our arms up. Here we go. Inhale, sweep up. And as the hands come together, I want you to exhale, hinge and fold, hands coming toward the chest, and then the crown of the head going toward whatever that prop is. So we're not going to do a deep fold yet. I want you just to get used to having the head hanging. So you're not putting, even if you're using both, you're not putting pressure on it. I just want the crown of your head to gently touch it. So you feel the target of what it's like to hang the head. It's not a very deep fold. We're going to remove these props in just a second. Just notice what it's like to have the crown of the head touching it. Notice how it feels in your neck. We want to maintain that feeling in the neck. This is your first inversion. See, they're not all tough. And then very gently, don't lift your head. Start to take those props away. And as you do, allow the head to come down a little lower. So we haven't changed it. It's still hanging. It's just hanging a little farther. So notice the crown of the head should be looking at the earth. If you kept it where it was after it touched those blocks or those books. Hands might be touching the ground, knees might be bent. It's always your option in a forward fold. But the number one purpose of where we are right now is release. Uttanasana, forward fold. Its goal is release. We release from our hips, from our spine. Oh, and from the crown of our head. 2 more breaths right here. And then slowly bring your hands to your shins. And as the hands slide up the legs, roll up through your spine. Head comes up nice and slowly. Shoulders roll back. Oh, let that blood readjust. You're coming back to standing. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time the legs are going to be wide. So you're going to have those props. Now, you're going to automatically see once the legs go wide, your props can probably be a little bit lower. I'm going to turn mine so that they're horizontal. That's how I have mine going this way. And again, books, does not matter. All we're going to do is touch it, and then we're going to remove it. So take your legs as wide as you can, toes pointing forward. And once your legs tell you that's as wide as you can go, take them a little wider. Make an inch. All right. Once you're here, arms come out into a T. All right, the crown of the head's going to go. Here we go. Inhale, look up. Exhale, keep your back flat. Start to fold. Crown of the head's coming down. Let it find those blocks or those books, whatever you're using. So that when you find that prop, let the arms release. You should be looking behind your legs, right through your legs. Hold here. And again, it's not a deep fold yet. We're going to remove these props. But what tends to happen is when we don't have something here, we change our gaze. We start looking down at the ground, which puts stress in our neck. That's not what we want. We want to look behind us. All right, whatever your head is on, start to gently remove it, but don't change the head. Let it hang. See if it goes down farther. Look through those legs. Keep breathing. Y'all, the crown of the head, that's where it's at. That is your peace, your bliss. But when you've got tension in your neck, in your jaw, in your forehead, guess what? The crown of the head gets locked. The worry settles in and the peace can't flow. 2 more breaths right here in this inversion. Look through your legs, right behind you. 1 more. Now bring your hands to your hips. Slowly bring yourself up. And then either just put your feet together or you can heel toe them. If you're able to do this, use heel toe in. That's a little work for your hips. Shake it out. We've been upside down for a bit. Now let's flow. So you take those props, move them out of the way. Sometimes we use props because they help with balance. They help to bring, if you want to put your foot on something, they help to bring a little stability. But sometimes they're just your focal point. So even if you were using something that's not a yoga block, it was the focal point of your head. So now every time we fold, I want the crown of your head going toward the ground, not touching the ground, but going down so that you're not compromising your neck. You're not trying to turn it and hold it in a certain way. All right, come to the top of your mat. Stand tall, find mountain pose, Tadasana. Your ankle bones are stacked under your hips. Your hip bones are stacked under your shoulders. Your arms are hanging energetically alongside you. Just stand tall here for one more breath. And we got our first sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale, sweep up. Hands come together. Exhale, hinge and fold. Remember, crown of the head, let it go. Look at those knees. Now slide the hands on the shins. Look up halfway. Back is flat. Bend the knees. Hands go to the mat. Always spread the fingers wide. Step the right leg back. Step the left leg back. Now you're in high plank. Keep up here if you can. We're going to drop the knees together. Just hang on. Check your fingers. They should be spread wide. And now keep the balls of the feet on the mat, but drop your knees. So don't untuck your toes yet. We're going to engage this belly button. Engage this core. Keep looking at your hands. Arms are straight. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows toward the ribs. Slowly lower your chest. Now we untuck the toes. Inhale, look straight ahead, Cobra. Hold here. Hold the pose, don't hold the breath. Elbows glued to the side body, look straight ahead. And now we're going to roll through 3 Cobras. So lower down. The next round, the hands come with us. Inhale, gaze, chest, hands. Let the hands hover. Draw the elbows back toward each other. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, round 2. Here we go. Lift, look straight ahead, elbows pulling back. Hands off the mat. Exhale, lower down. 1 to go. Here we go. Inhale up. Gaze, chest, hands. Hold. Feel how your belly is truly rooted into the mat. 2 more breaths. And now take the hands down, tuck those toes, push to your knees first, adjust your hands a bit, and now lift your hips, down dog. And if you find that it's still too wide of a down dog, take a little step in. So you've either got a choice of sliding the hands before you lift, or you take a step once you lift. Your knees can always be bent in down dog. Your heels can always be up. But I need you looking at your feet. Because just like that forward fold, if you look at the hands, you've just engaged your neck in the wrong way. Head is hanging, crown is open to the ground. Breathe. First down dog is tough. It's using so many different muscles. Just breathe. And now I want you to look at your hands as you walk your feet back to the top of the mat. Once you're here, put your hands on your shin. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold and release. Crown opens up. Put a generous bend in those knees. Inhale, let's rise. Arms go up. Exhale, draw them down through your heart center. First sun salutation, done. And I say first because there's a few more. All right, each time we come here, we're going to add a little bit. So everybody look straight ahead. And if you've got those blocks, keep them by the top of your mat. You're going to want them for runner's lunge in just a bit, or books, whichever you're using. All right, here we go. Inhale, sweep up. Hands meet. Exhale, hinge, fold, bow. Crown to the ground. Hands on the shins, look up halfway. Nice and slow. And now bend the knees. Fingers spread wide, take the hands down. Step one leg back. Step the other leg back. You're in high plank. Hold here if you can. One breath before you lower the knees. And now drop the knees, but we're all staying here. We haven't untucked the toes yet. We're going to practice our Chaturanga Arms. So the key is elbows go to the ribs every time. So here we go. Lower, hover, elbows to the ribs, push yourself back up. And hover, elbows to the ribs, push yourself back up. Bend, straighten. Let's do 2 more. Bend, straighten. Last one, bend, straighten, and now they'll go all the way down to the mat. Belly on the mat, flip your feet over. Inhale, look up, Cobra. Don't lift the hands this time though, just a regular old cobra. Tuck your toes. Push to your knees, lift your hips, take a step in, find your down dog. Again, knees bent, heels up, you decide, but look at your feet. Fingers are spread wide because we need to distribute the weight so it's not just our wrists doing the work. The backs of your knuckles of your fingers actually are touching the mat. Helps everything distribute the weight. And now we're ready for a lunge. Right leg goes up, bend the right knee. Bring the knee toward the nose, and then either bring the right foot up or grab your right calf and pull it up, whichever works. Now get those books or those blocks. Set them on their sides. Place your hands on them. So now your left leg is long. Your left heel is pushing back. Your right knee is stacked over your right ankle. So it's a nice perpendicular line going to the mat. And now look straight ahead. Runner's lunge. Look straight ahead. Don't compromise your neck. Just look straight. Breathe. Push that left heel back. Feel the stretch down the left leg. 2 more breaths. And now let's take our hands off the block, so scooch them out. And now kick the right leg up. Lower the right foot. Let's do some pedals. Walk the heels out. You bend the knee, you lower one heel, and then you switch. Down dog, you're looking at those feet. That means the crown is open. Let's do the left side. Here we go. Left leg lifts. Bend the left knee. Knee comes toward the nose. And then either bring the left foot up or grab your calf and bring it up. Take those blocks back or the books. Put the hands on them. Extend through the right leg and look straight ahead. We put our hands on these blocks or these props so that our gaze can go straight ahead and our chest can open up slightly, which then forces that right quad, right hamstring to really stretch. Breathe. Yoga does not just change the way we see things, it changes the person doing the scene. One more breath. Take those blocks, scooch them out, hands go to the mat. Kick the left leg up. Lower the left leg. Instead of pedaling this time, take your knees wide, big toes together, lower into child's pose. Let it all go. Forehead is on the mat this time. But the other thing about letting the stress go, when the crown of the head opens up, the crown where the piece is opens up. When your forehead comes to your mat in child's pose, notice what it feels like. It's real hard to keep the forehead wrinkled in child's pose. It's hard to keep those stress lines. They just melt away. That's why child's pose has so much power right here. It relieves the muscles. Oh, but it relieves the stress even more. Breathe it out. One more good breath right here. Lift your head. Bring your knees in. Let's find tabletop first. So first we get a tabletop. We got to finish the sun salutation though. So tuck your toes. Inhale. And as you exhale, lift your hips, down dog. Look at your feet. Breathe here. Hopefully this down dog feels a little better than the first. Now look at your hands. Begin to walk the feet back to the top of the mat. Hands to the shin. Inhale, look up halfway. Back is flat. Exhale, fold. Release the crown of your head. Bend your knees. Inhale, let's rise. Exhale, lower down. All right, move those blocks out of the way. We are done with them. Grab you a drink, and we're going to keep going. All right, you're all hanging with me. That's a good sign. Good stuff coming. All right, stand tall, Tadasana. We got one more slow Getting all those muscles ready. And then we're going to play around with some dolphin. So stand tall. Sun salutation A. Here we go. Inhale, sweep up. Hands meet. Exhale. Hinge, bow, fold. Release the hands, release the head. When you're ready, hands on the shins, look up halfway. Take the hands down, step back to plank. Check your fingers if they're spread wide. Look at your hands. High plank. And now you have an option. You can keep the knees up or you can lower. It's still a plank. You decide. Inhale. Everybody bend the elbows toward the ribs. Lower the body to the ground. Flip your feet over. Inhale, cobra. Look straight ahead. Tuck the toes. Push to the knees. Exhale, down dog. Take a step in. And now we're going to stay in this down dog because we're going to add a little core work while we're here. The fingers are spread wide. You're not looking at them, but you can feel them. We're going to do knee and nose on the same side, and then we're going to cross the body. And maybe it's even knee to tricep. You decide. All right, here we go. Lift the right leg. Bend the right knee. Hold here. And now right knee to the right, to the right nose. Right knee to the nose or to the right tricep. You decide. Hold. And now put the foot back. You're in down dog. Lift your left. Bend your left knee. Knees either come into the nose or all the way up to the left tricep. Hold. And put it back. This time when we cross the body, we're not going to lift the leg. We're just going to go all the way across. So right knee, bring it to the left tricep, left elbow. Hold. Hover. You got this. Put it back. Left knee, right tricep. Hold. Put it back. One more round, crossing the body. Here we go. Right knee, left. And put it back. Woo, shoulders are feeling it. Last round. Left knee, right tricep. Put it back. And now we're going to shake out those wrists. So bring the eyes to the hands. Step your feet forward or walk up. Once you're here, stay in the fold. Roll the wrists out. So the head hang. Make circles with your wrists and settle your breath down. Turn the opposite way with the wrist. Circle them in. Stay in the fold. Take your fist, ball them up, release the fingers. Squeeze the fist, release the fingers. Few more. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. And now put a big bend in those knees. Inhale, let's rise. Exhale down. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and you don't have to be by the wall just yet. But if you're able to go ahead and scooch there and still see me, go ahead and scooch. I'm going to move my mat to my wall right here. You can still see everything I'm doing. We're going to play with some dolphin. And then dolphin might be where you stay today. Okay. Headstand's going to be the last thing I'm going to show you. The wall is going to be your prop. And there are so many different levels of trying to come to headstand. But dolphin in itself is a huge thing to get to. So we don't try to master stuff in yoga, but we got to find entry points for our body. So I want you to have a seat on your mat. You don't need the wall yet, just have it there. Because we're really going to play with this dolphin pose just a few times first. So whenever we take a forearm plank, I always give people the choice. You either put the hands out, make fist, or you clasp. Well, for dolphin pose, I need your hands the way I put mine in forearm plank, which is going to be like this. Hands will be clasped. You're making this kind of little tripod. And what's going to happen is the back of our head is going to go inside those hands. The crown of our head is going to touch the ground. Sometimes in dolphin, we lift the head, but for today, the head's going to be on the ground because that's going to prep us for headstand. Okay? So hands are going to be like this. The head's going to be in it. So I'm going to show you first, and then we're going to do it together. So the way we do it is we come to tabletop. We make that little tripod with our hands, so my fingers are clasped. I put my head on the ground, and the back of my head is in those hands. I scooch my knees up, and then all it is a down dog. Tuck my toes, lift my hips. That's what we're about to do, okay? All right. And I think I just got a collective okay. I didn't hear you, but I heard you. All right. Clasp the hands. Let's put them on the ground. Forearms are down. Chest is kind of on the thighs. Now lift your bottom, take your head, put it down, so that the back of your head is inside your hands. And your bottom's kind of sticking up. You're basically looking at your knees or your thighs. We're not doing anything crazy here. Just tuck your toes, lift the knees, look at the feet. So you're in this dolphin pose, getting used to having the head touch the ground. That's all we're going to do right here. Now, what I need you to think about while you're here, besides breathing, is I don't want you to crunch your neck. So don't let the shoulders kind of collapse in the neck. Keep the neck long. Keep the shoulders long. Press into the forearms. Breathe. Keep looking at those feet. One more breath. Slowly lower the knees. Untuck the toes. Roll yourself back up. Lift the head. And now let's roll the head in circles, maybe clockwise and switch and go counterclockwise. Everything you do to engage, you've got to find the counter pose, the release. Couple more circles. All right, next dolphin. If you are close by the wall, now is when you're going to scooch. Everything will stay the same, except this time when I make my tripod, the backs of my fingers are going to actually touch my baseboard or whatever is at the base of your wall. So I'm going to touch the baseboard and then I'm going to talk you through this. So I got to get a little closer to the wall. And the way to tell if you're close enough, you should be able to touch it with your hand. You still may need to adjust. If you can't touch it, you just try to get closer. All right, even if you can't see me, do not worry. I'm going to talk you through this. Make the hands in that little clasp. Put the backs of your fingers up against your baseboard or the bottom of your wall. Arms are in that tripod, so it looks like it's a forearm plank. Chest is on the thighs. Now, the first thing we do is let's put the head on the ground. The back of the head touches our hands. Don't worry, this is not a headstand. This is still dolphin. So the crown of the head's on the ground. The head's touching the hands touching the wall. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, dolphin. Heels stay up. Now, this might be right where you stay. But you can also take a little step in with your feet until your spine touches the wall. This is another version of dolphin right here. So crown of the head is on the ground, spine is on the wall. Now push those forearms into the ground so that you don't crunch your neck. So you're really rooting into those forearms. Otherwise, the shoulders will tend to kind of crunch down and then your neck gets compromised. Don't do that. Oh, smile. You're upside down. Kind of like in plank, it's real hard to think about worry and stress when you're upside down. Dolphin's a good place to be. 2 more breaths right here. And then slowly we bend the knees. We lower them down. Untuck the toes. Come up and release. Whoa. Should feel really good. And notice you can't have stress in your face when you've been upside down. It is physically impossible. All right. So up next, you're going to have a choice to do another dolphin, or I'm going to talk you in to supported headstand. So the way that a supported headstand works is we use the wall. If you know that you can do a headstand without the wall, yay, that is so good. That's not the point of today. The point today is I want your spine straight. So when we use the wall, it keeps our back from swaying too much because all we're going to put on the wall are our heels. And our body is going to be nice and tall. Again, shoulders are away from the ears. They don't crunch the neck. If you try to kick up the headstand and it doesn't work, do not get frustrated. That's the first thing. You take a dolphin, you build more core strength, and then next time you have a little bit better chance of trying it. So if you start kicking and trying to lift a leg and it doesn't work, okay, then stop. Just do dolphin. You're still inverted. You're still in the right position. Headstand's just something that comes next, all right? So we're going to end up in all different spots, I promise you. So first we'll get to, actually, let me show you what I'm going to do. That way when you're upside down, you're not trying to look. All right, so first I'm going to get to dolphin. I tuck my toes, I lift my hips, I walk a step forward so that my back is touching the wall. And I got to pick a leg. Just pick a leg to push off from, the other one's going to kick up. So here I go. I push off one, and I lift. And first thing is my butt touches the wall, but now I just want my heels to touch the wall so that my butt stays nice and straight. My shoulders are not crunching, and I am breathing. Sometimes it takes 3, 4, 5 times to kick up. Sometimes you think that leg's not working, let me try the other. You play with it and see, but the most important thing is don't let your neck crunch, all right? So here we go. Everybody, tripod your hands. Put them against your baseboard. Plant those forearms strongly on the mat. And now put the head down. Back of the head touches the hands. Once you're here, your chin is already tugged, but we're about to untug it. So curl the toes, lift the hips. Now the chin is untucked. Take a step in with your feet so that your spine touches the wall and stay here. I want you to get comfortable here before you try to kick up. Stay in dolphin, breathe for 10 maybe, and then come out. Or decide, take one foot up. Once the feet are both up, if they come up, it's the heels that touch the wall, not the butt. Don't let your neck crunch. Push off. A little harder, Mickey. There you go. You've almost got it. Breathe. Spine is straight. I love how everybody looks different, just as it should be. Mickey, try your other foot. Beautiful, Dolores. Hips are lifted. Forearms are in the ground. All right, wherever you are. All right, let's come down slowly. Lift yourself slowly from either dolphin or from headstand, whichever you were in. And then I need you to sit up and close your eyes because we're going to try one more. And as you're seated, just kind of roll your head but keep your eyes closed. And I need you to give yourself grace and patience. The fact that you are even willing to go upside down and invert your gaze, your body, that's the triumph of the day. Getting those legs up, that's not what you're trying to master. You're trying to send grace to yourself. So keep your eyes closed, a couple more breaths. Dog yoga is not about mastering poses. It is about getting the essence of the pose into our body. And the essence of what we're doing today is sitting upside down, meaning we're changing our perspective. Couple more breaths right here, eyes closed. Grace and patience. All right, open up your eyes. We're going to do one more. The key to all of this is core strength. If you want to eventually be able to do more and more, get a stronger core, which makes you have better balance, which makes you, people don't think you're as old as you are. That's kind of what I'm going for. So let's bring our hands together, clasp them. Let's press the hands against your baseboard, wherever you're using. Take the head to the ground. Back of the head touches the hands. Once you either get to dolphin or headstand, take 5 breaths. If you can stay up, take 5 more. Here we go. Tuck the toes, lift the knees. You're in dolphin. Take a step. Spine is on the wall. If you're going to stay here, breathe for 5. If you're still doing good, breathe for 5 more. If you're going to kick up, take a leg. And here we go. Heels to the wall or whatever you're doing. And breathe. Don't compromise the neck. Push those forearms into the ground. Support yourself. Breathe. You decide when it's enough. Breathe. Beautiful, Amanda. There you go, Michelle. There you go, Mary. Good, Brittany. Good, Lori. Good, Dolores. Rachel. Everybody looks great. You decide how many more breaths you want to stay, and then when you're ready, you come down. Make you push those forearms into the mat. Take a step up. Get your spine on the wall. Another step. You're so close. You're so close. Yes. There you go. We're going to call that a win right there. All right. Everybody back onto your shins from wherever you were just now. And let the chest come down. Take a child's pose. Oh, let it go. And no matter what your pose looks like, because nobody can see it but me, I want you to smile. Be proud of the efforts. Be proud of just taking the risk and trying. Crown of the head on the mat. Not crown, forehead on the mat. Child's pose. Let it go. No tension anywhere in your body. We're going to get ready in just a second to stretch a couple times and go to Shavasana. But before we do, I'm going to listen to these words one more time. My guy, my guru, he tells me, and I believe this, there are inherent stresses all around us. They are like geological fault lines in our heads that if they are left unaddressed, they will always cause things to go wrong, individually and collectively. But the whole thrust of the yoga way of life says that we're going to examine how we are so that we learn to respond to the stress of life without all those tremors and without all those troubles. Because yoga is transformative. It does not just change the way we see things. It truly transforms the person who sees. I want you to slowly come out of child's pose. Once you're up, bring your legs out, have a seat, just hold on to your shins. And then we're going to lower ourselves down, one vertebrae at a time. Lower yourself onto the mat. Take your arms out into a T on either side of you. Let your knees drop to the right. You look to the left. And just breathe right here in the twist. So let me encourage you, as you focus on your core, and I don't mean building abs, that's not what your core is. Your core is this corset of muscles that wrap around the middle of your body. Your low back, your obliques right there on the side, and your abs. And when you build a strong physical core, the other bonus is you're building self-confidence and belief. Knees and eyes come up. Knees go to the left. You go to the right. Because right there in the center of your core is some subtle energy called your solar plexus chakra. It is a beautiful amount of energy that tells you that you are worthy, you have value, and you have an internal strength that sometimes you don't even realize. That's why we build core strength, not so we can do a headstand. So that we are reminded every day we look in the mirror of the worth and the value of who we are. That's why we need strong cores. One more breath right here in the twist. And then bring the knees back. Bring the gaze back. Bring the knees into the chest. Hug your shins. Lift your head. Let's rock side to side. Massage that back. Massage your kidneys. Tuck your chin. Squeeze it all in right here. One more rock. And then squeeze once more. And first, I want you to lower your head and your shoulders, but keep squeezing the legs. And now unwrap your right arm. Keep squeezing with the left. Unwrap the left arm. Keep the knees up. Oh, feel those arms release. Plant your right foot. Plant your left foot. Extend your right leg down the mat. Extend your left leg down the mat. Arms are alongside you. Gently close your eyes. And we are going to settle into Shavasana right here. Corpse pose, Shavasana. It's your pose of shedding. So if at any point you had frustration or not being happy with yourself for just a second, I want you to shed that. Let it go right now. And you replace it with grace, with a smile on your face, with a belief in yourself. Because while I want your perspective to be changed about this crazy Arctic nonsense we are all dealing with, I would much rather the perspective change about yourself first. I want you to like the man, the woman that you see when you look in the mirror. Eventually, I'd like you to love that person. So just breathe right here in Shavasana. No more movement, just breath. Just a few more breaths right here in Shavasana before we enter this day, whatever it's got in store for us. And very gently, I want you to bring your knees up, allow the feet to rest on the mat. Roll onto your right side. Come onto your right shoulder, your right hip. Coming into fetal position, knees are bent. Just feel this protective stance right here in fetal position. And then very slowly press your left hand into the mat. Bring yourself back up. Coming up to seated. Just cross your legs in whatever way is comfortable for you. And one more time, I want to remind you what my guy tells me in his book, Light on Life, not Light on Yoga, Light on Life. We want to make sure that those fault lines in our head don't cause us trouble. But we got to keep breathing, keep examining where we are and how we feel. That's the focus of yoga. So just close your eyes for just a second longer. Bring your hands to your heart center. Press your palms together. That's your seal, your commitment. That when I leave this mat, I am leaving it with grace and patience and love for myself. And I will navigate this day as it comes. Thank you for taking a risk, for showing up on a Thursday morning when you didn't have to. For breathing with me. For going upside down, for changing your perspective. But don't make it just what you did on the mat. Take it with you and inhale deeply one more time. And then as you exhale, bow your head toward your hands. And please know that the light in me honors and truly sees and values the light in you. Namaste.